All right, everyone, welcome to the live stream. Bitcoin is breaking out. If you were a member, I did a members live stream this morning and basically just said a breakout looks pretty imminent. I shared some ideas. Let's get rid of some of these alerts. There's a reason I didn't share a single downside level in the members update today. Just a casual 300 million volume 5-minute candle here. The vast majority of these are shorts being squeezed. A lot of shorts built up here. I would just say, I did scalp some shorts on the way up here, but took profits quickly. This is not the type of price action you want to short. Quite bullish consolidation under resistance, and we have some very nice targets to the upside. Excuse the cough. All right, so I could go over some of the levels that I went over on the live stream for members this morning, but we have a lot of nice levels in this region and a lot of I'd say, relatively easy ways to determine what's going to happen here. So first off, if you know anything about liquidity, you know that there is a lot of liquidity above these highs. That's why we just had $300 million volume coming in a 5-minute candle and tons of shorts getting squeezed out. Now this is typically where you're going to see a lot of stop losses. If we zoom out and we go to the 4-hour chart, we pull the volume profile across here. I'm just going to show you this level. So we have two high volume areas from early in January. One is here, and I have it marked out, and one is up here. We also have a very important Fibonacci level, the 382, that aligns with this point of control of the range. This high volume area right above it. These are very likely levels to be hit, coming in around 47K, 47.3. If you've watched any of my analysis on this Gartley target, which I shared down here, this Gartley plays out like this. Into the 786. And I just want to note, I've been talking about a date range as well here for when you might want to look for that target to be hit. And it comes in about here. Wow. Yeah, if any of you have watched my videos, it's quite a nice fib time here. Of course, this is pulled on the 4-hour, so it gives you a bit of a range. And this is how you want to look for confluence in the proportions of these harmonic patterns. But quite amazing. This, I talked about this here, this target, this target, this target. I didn't really think about this, this, I don't even know when, maybe back here for a possible date. I think it was about 7 or 8 days ahead of time to push up into this target. But yeah, so let's just kind of go over what I'm expecting, what I'm looking for, and how I'm anticipating this playing out. Of course, anything is possible, so we always have to trade with care. None of this is financial advice, of course. But because we have these big levels in front of the Gartley target, we need to be wary that that target won't get hit, but at the same time, they're going to act as nice levels for confirmation. So we have the 382 and this high volume area under it. I think this push up is likely to bridge this gap, but we have to realize, I better even make sure that I pulled this 382, perfectly. Let me just snap it to these highs and lows. Because if I didn't, we possibly just hit the 382. That's pretty darn close. Probably less than a fraction of a percent away. Yeah, 0.06. So if this is our target, this is what I talked about in the live stream, this is a really big Fibonacci resistance, high to low, 382, with some big levels above it. But how might you expect this price action to play out? Well, below us we have this high that we just broke out above, and it wouldn't be too surprising to see us break above it and potentially back test it. You know, we can come a little bit below it and then make another move up. But if we're going to reject here, we might look like for something like this on the lower time frame. Where we put in a low and take this extension, and we come back and back test these highs for deeper rejection. So there's a couple ways you could play this. Wait for a swing failure of this low if we reject. If you want to be more aggressive, you short a back test, the stop above the high, or you wait for a rejection below this high, put a stop loss above. But I guess my personal bias would be that we do push up a little higher and tap some of these levels. But I won't be trading my bias. I'll be looking for some confirmation of a rejection. This is quite a nice short squeeze. But you have to realize all these shorts get squeezed out. 300 million volume. Lots of longs closing up here as well. Some big short positions are getting filled right now. And there's probably a lot of questionable decisions being made on Twitter with people longing this breakout. So short, there's lots of, there's longs opening, longs closing, shorts closing. Ultimately, this move is happening so far, not surprisingly, on a decrease in open interest, because it's primarily just a ton of shorts getting wrecked. I'm personally not in a hurry to short this yet, but we need to keep in mind, as I mentioned in the members live stream today, that this 382 high volume area, 786, all big targets. If we push up higher and we tap the 786, there's a couple ways to trade this as well. If you are comfortable reading the order flow, you might look for a short right at the highs. But for more confirmation, you want to start losing some of these levels as resistance. And then what I personally would do, not recommending you do anything, start looking for shorts that look like this. The targets can be much further down. Still want to take profits to some degree earlier. Or even this. Wait to lose the 382, backtest as resistance. If you want a much smaller position, even more possible confirmation, but you would need to take a much smaller position size. You could wait for this high to be lost. But the most important thing right now is we're looking to see how price interacts between the high we just took. Do we swing failure it with essentially a touch into the 382, which is a big level? Or do we bounce off it and push higher here locally? So that's what I'm watching. Certainly a pivotal moment, even in the context of the last few months, between a bullish thesis, bearish thesis. Now keep in mind, and I showed this in the members live stream today, there are important levels above us as well. Very important. So it's possible we do push up and we go up to some of these higher targets. I have some ideas that allow me to look for shorts here. But it doesn't mean we can't push up higher. But wow, look at this volume. Just wonderful. You know, I'm actually surprised, frankly, just how many accounts that I think generally produce quite good technical analysis. We're advocating high confidence shorts here. You know, there's just a few simple rules. Typically, the more times a resistance level is tested, the more likely it is to break. This looked quite bullish in terms of consolidation. Clearly a lot of liquidity up here. This rally up was a lot more bullish than these ones. You know, when price grinds up, it typically offers and suggests more of a bullish move than just a quick move up. I'm still carrying longs, of course, because I've been expecting higher. But right now, the point of the stream is to monitor this move. Yeah, so, you know, I think it's possible that a nice opportunity arises during this stream. It's also possible that we spend some time up here. But I've been waiting for this for a long time. Just for fun, while we're watching, I'm going to pull up a couple things here. I'm just going through looking for what I'm looking for. Okay, let's go to the 4 hour here. If you're new here, I'm just going to share these ideas. And not to brag about them or anything, but just to say it's not hindsight. Here's a post I made a little while ago. This idea to the 786, talking about this fib time. But here is the first time I shared it, months ago. Before we made this low, or this high, or this push up. And this is something called a harmonic, a Gartley harmonic. And so, you know, back in early February, got this push up, this moved down to, you know, up to 46, down to 34, up. This isn't part of the harmonic, but, you know, it's just the time in between. Now this push up. Doesn't mean it will play out, but it typically ends in a bearish result. So the final target is D. If this is truly a valid harmonic, there's lots of reasons to believe it could be. But understand that a technical pattern is just that. At the end of the day, it's a line on the chart. And that might sound weird coming from someone who really believes in the validity of technical analysis, but there's nothing stopping a market maker, one entity, from injecting volume and pushing price through a level if that's what they intend to do. So there's no such thing as a guarantee, but there's a reason that these types of ideas play out in every asset, every market, over and over again for the last 100 years. That's why technical analysis works, because it's a representation of human psychology played out, mass human psychology played out on a chart, liquidity, all the things that drive a market. Someone asking, what's MM volume? Well, there's people like you and I who participate in the market, but we don't drive the market. So when I buy and sell, I don't really have to think about the liquidity in a market like Bitcoin, nor do you. And we don't move price when we buy or sell. A market maker, on the other hand, not only moves price and can move price where they want it to go, in order for them to fill the positions they need to move price. So let's just pretend I'm a market maker and I want to fill, this is just on Bybit, but I want to fill, or I'm a group of market makers. I collectively represent several of them. I want to fill $500 million of positions of shorts. I can't just open that position with a market order at any time, because that could literally drive price down at the wrong time. If I do it at any random time, I could send price down to 25K in a single 5-minute bar, which is not what I want to do. I want to fill my shorts while price is moving up into them and then unload them lower. So I want price to be, moving into my shorts, and my shorts not to be driving the market down. So if I'm a market maker and I have billions of dollars at my disposal, or in relative terms to the Bitcoin market, unlimited resources, maybe I've filled some longs down here, well, I might even just sit in here and hold the market up and drive it up, ultimately because I want to fill shorts. And I know there's a lot of liquidity up here, and I have to do this. I have to figure out, how do I fill my short positions? Well, I got to drive price up to where I can trap all these breakout longs, take all the liquidity from all the shorts that are getting squeezed out, fill my short positions, and then I can bring price down. Otherwise, I can't get the position. And so it might even seem unfair or like a scam or whatever to you guys, but just realize that it's just a necessity of the market. If you're a market maker, or you work on a institutional trading floor of some kind, this is your job. You need to figure out how to fill those positions in the market, and you'll spend money to drive price up to fill bigger shorts just to bring price down. I'm not saying that's what is happening here. I'm saying that's the type of thing that often happens at the highs and the lows. If you're new here, links are in the description. I have a Discord, Telegram, Twitter. Most of you probably came from one of those. And yeah, I post regularly on all of those. I have a members group. If you're interested, you can join there. Or I do daily members live streams. I share some of the ideas I'm interested in and do educational content. Lots of exciting things coming there. If you're interested in trading and you're interested in using one of the links below, there's a few of them: Bybit, Bitfinex, and KuCoin. I trade on Bybit personally. It's my preferred exchange. There's some bonuses for joining with those. Whatever, you've probably all heard them a million times. It's the same ones as the ones that everybody else promotes. The same sign-up bonuses that you get for joining with a partner link. Yeah, be interesting. I'm not expecting necessarily to see one of the infamous straight up, straight downs. It would make sense to spend some time ranging here and then maybe, push up. But we need to just keep in mind, we have these key levels. The high that we just took, which we may hold as support. If we start losing it, Of course, we need to be wary that we're going to start rejecting. And then these 3 levels above us. I have a strong bias towards this 48K region. But it's kind of for fun. Like I'm a mature enough trader to understand that that level might not get hit, and I'll keep my eyes open. But it would be cool if it was, because I've been sharing that idea for months. I'm just looking at some other thoughts here. But this has to be, probably not our highest volume hourly candle, I bet at least. Maybe it is in a while. It's got to be close. But certainly our highest volume 5-minute candle in a long time. I can't even remember when. I thought these were more around 200 million. 250 maybe. Let's see. That was 150. Yeah, so we've had some big squeezes. I can't really even see the volume there. But anyways, let's even compare the difference here. Bit of squeeze, 6% move on this squeeze. 4.5% here. Got the dog barking. Hey, I'm gonna go grab some coffee. I'll be right back. All right. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm gonna pin a video onto my profile on Twitter. I'm sure most of you saw it, but it was a video kind of describing the reasons I might look for a rejection here. Just gotta scroll through and find it. So if you're interested in watching that, you can. It's just 1 minute long, but it goes through some of the ideas here. All right, so let's kind of take a look how price action is developing here. So far we are holding this high. I don't have it set up on my, I just did like a whole new overlay thing just because I wanted a starting soon screen, but I haven't set up the other like screens I can share. But I'll tell you what I'm looking at, and next time I'll be able to show you. So we had this initial rally of 300 million volume. Vast majority is shorts being squeezed, and actually a lot of longs closing as well. I'm sure profit taking, all that stuff. Some nice volume in these candles as well. Shorts opening, longs closing, and really, since this price action, a decent amount of shorts opening. You know, nothing compared to the $300 million candle here, but relative to even all of these candles, you know, you have a lot of volume coming in. We can see up here, 43 million in this 5-minute candle, 26 million, 10 million, 13, 13, 10, 10. So this is a lot of volume typically, right? Compared to what you're typically seeing in a 5-minute candle. You know, we had some big candles like 29 million earlier on this big move straight up here. Some big 30-some million candles, 24, 14. Those were, you know, relatively big candles on these big moves up. But now, that's the type of volume we're seeing in these follow-up candles. So, yeah, there's a lot of even though this looks kind of maybe slow now, there's a lot of volume coming in, lots of activity, lots of people trading this both short and long. So, you might be wondering, you know, why doesn't price just go back up or reject? Well, now's the time where, again, even if it's on a lower time frame, we have this big move, and now there's lots of people thinking, oh, I've just stopped out of my short, or I was waiting for this scam pump. They're opening their shorts, you know, people opening their breakout longs, whatever it is, price consolidates, and then a move happens, either up or down, and half the people are on the wrong side of it again. And they produce not just liquidity, but fuel for the move again, the next leg of whatever it's going to be. You know, the reason price likes to range is to let people build positions on the wrong side of it, right? Lots of shorts building here over all this time, and then they get squeezed out on the wrong side. Their liquidity, they're the fuel for this move. But like for me, I'm not opening a short here. I'm happy to sit in my longs. We really have no real weakness. I mean, this is a little bit of a void here, but we have this high below us. Someone asking about the CME gap. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the CME gap's always going to be a talking point whenever there's a weekend move. As far as, I don't really think about it, other than I think that other people are thinking about it. But, you know, even if it could fill at the end of next week. I have upside targets. I guess for me, like, I don't know about you guys, what your analysis is, what you've been waiting for. But this has been one of my primary ideas since back here. This move up, down, up, these levels, even this timing, I've been looking at for a while. So that gives me some confidence to be patient, right? Because I'm not confused about what I'm seeing. Not that I know what is going to happen, but I have some context for it. So I'm not like, what the hell? What is Bitcoin? Why did it go up so much? what's happening? This is one of my primary ideas. So I'm just going to wait, see what happens. I will say, you know, whether it's in the Twitter comments, I think the Discord is great, both the public Discord and the members Discord, of course. I want to see your guys' ideas. You know, I have my own ideas, but they're just my ideas. I'm a person like you, and I'm sure you guys have great ideas too. There's no better way to improve than sharing your ideas. Obviously getting a move up. Not surprised. But yeah, I'm not looking for shorts yet. Looking forward to seeing how this saga concludes. Well, this is a range. Like, I'm not expecting this necessarily. I'm expecting some volatility. Shorts, longs, things, you know, for the move not to be easy to trade. It usually isn't. So if you didn't have a position on the move, usually Bitcoin likes to make it tricky to get on the right side of it, especially because people will highly leverage positions, right? So you'll see a lot of longs opening, thinking stopped out. Now, personally, my style of trading, I'm not trading this. I mean, I have my longs from lower. I'm not trying to open longs or shorts based on what I think is going to happen in this near-term price action. I'm waiting for key levels or confirmation of a breakdown. So the way I trade, I don't always wait for confirmation. Well, for me it's confirmation. Maybe on even a very low time frame and just looking at order flow. Sometimes I'll short or long the exact high or low of a move, and sometimes it depends on the context. If that's my key level, if I have an intermediary level and we do get a rejection, sometimes I'll wait for more confirmation of a breakdown and then open my short or long. But the only trade I'm looking for right now is a short, because I already have my longs. So happy to carry those and take profits and see if I get a short. So it's either for me short, or I might not take a trade at all and just carry my longs if we keep moving up. So there is a touch of the 382, an important level, certainly. Pushing up through it. So now that we've tapped the 382, I'm kind of interested to see how this all plays out here. Because now we've officially, in my mind, tapped a key level. And even though I have the Gartley target higher, you know, it'd be weird in some sense not to get some kind of rejection off of this level, even if we eventually do push higher, maybe even over the next 12 hours. But even if it's just back into the lows, 2% away. But yeah, nice volume coming in. $30 million, 43 million. Longs opening on the way up, more shorts getting squeezed. I would anticipate some kind of reaction though off the 382. But we may not get one. Again, not really a level I'm interested in trading, right like this. But if we reject, what I might look for, worth noting though, there are some major bearish divergences coming in here. Signs of absorption, shorts filling. You know, if you could start scaling into a small short position here. Like that's, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying hypothetically. Or if we get a rejection, you could wait for some kind of retest of a local fib. Stop loss there is an idea. But I'm anticipating some kind of rejection here. I mean, it would be strange not to get one, as this is a very important fib retracement level. We've grabbed a lot of liquidity. We're starting to develop, even in this time frame, significant bearish divergences or significant signs of absorption. Technically, we don't have bearish divergences, just signs of absorption, which means lots of market buying, shorts being squeezed out, longs opening, and we have clues that there's big traders sitting here with limit orders filling short positions. But you know, we could see a lot of volatility even over the next 4 days. We could see some rejections, you know, whatever. So the best way to trade is just to look for key levels, wait for key levels, do your analysis. This is a likely place to get some kind of rejection, like I've said. And, you know, it's not just because we're starting to reject. This is a level I pointed out earlier today when price was still down here, as we need to watch this as key resistance, key resistance, key resistance. This is all the zone. Ultimately, price doesn't move in a straight line either. And so right now, just locally, key resistance, key support. If we lose this low and flip it as resistance, well, That is a technical swing failure pattern. And so it's important, like I said earlier in the stream today, I'd love for this target to get hit. There's no reason that I think it might not get hit, but I'm not just gonna, if I see signs of weakness, signs of a rejection, I'm gonna take a short, right? I don't mind getting stopped out. It's kind of like if you're playing poker and you have a really good hand and you get priced in, like you don't know what your opponent has, but maybe you have a gut feeling they have something better than what you have, and they make a bet, but it's you statistically almost have to call it. That's kind of how I look at trading. It's like, well, I can take a short, even if I have a gut feeling price is going to move up higher, then I just get stopped out. My gut feelings aren't always right. When you're seeing when you have the type of hand that you need to play and you need to take the short, well, then you just take it, trade it reasonably, take a stop loss if you end up being wrong, quote unquote, and then look for another position at your higher target. But we'll see how price action develops here. Someone's asking if I'm getting time confluence for April 2nd to 4th. I haven't really looked. I'm sure, there very well may be. What you should do is share your chart in the Discord. If you have some time confluence there, share it. We can all take a look at it, see what you found. I just want to see, is there a difference between the live stream chat feed and the little Discord, the streaming overlay? Yeah, I think there must be a little. So someone's saying, I have a short from 44,400, forgot to place a stop loss. Should I close it now or wait for further price action? So to answer that question, this is something I talk about a lot in the Discord. I'm not going to give somebody, I get asked this a lot. I get DM'd it a lot. I get asked it in messages, whatever. People just tell me some position they took, and they say, I'm really underwater, should I close it? Or, where should my stop loss be? And it's just it could be Bitcoin, it could be a random coin. I'm not going to give people advice on what to do with a random position that they have open. I know that might seem harsh, but, what do you want me to say, right? You have a short from way down here, you didn't have a stop loss, you're underwater, and you want to know if you should close it. I can't make that decision for you. I don't know how big. Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you, but because it's just not my role. But I don't know how big it is compared to your account. I don't know what position you're in. What I'd say is, what I can help people do, like in my members Discord and members group, is learn the discipline and the ideas and trade management so you don't find yourself in that position. I don't know what you mean by forgot to place a stop loss, but that's typically something you don't want to forget. But just know, you know, it can't end well for me to be telling. I got messages yesterday, you know, people thousands of dollars in loss on some random altcoin, and they're saying, should I close it or open it? And I just say, you know, I don't know. That's up to you. I'm not. I don't know anything about that trade you took, and you know, very persistent. I just need to tell them what to do, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I hope that makes sense. I can't be telling hundreds of people just random what to do with random positions they have open. Because I don't know what's going to happen, right? I just wait for key levels. We could literally go straight down right now. And then you'll be like, you told me to close your short. Sorry, that's a little bit of a rant. Someone's saying, I don't hear, where's your short entry? Well, I don't have a short open. But we're at big resistance here. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least a local rejection. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to, frankly, see a bit of a deeper rejection. I have some targets up here, so I'm either waiting for weakness or waiting for some higher targets. Yeah. I've done, just if you might be new to just my Twitter, my YouTube, I've done a ton of analysis on these levels up here for months. So, you know, and even on this live stream, I don't know how the live streams work. I think you can just rewind it, or maybe you have to wait till it's over. But I did go through everything here. So I won't keep going through it over and over again. I think you can just rewind the video. Someone's saying, do I just use Fibonacci to identify support and resistance? No. If you go to my Twitter, the pinned comment shows different reasons I'm looking for resistance there. But, you know, in conjunction even with Elliott waves, Fibonacci can be, just Fibonacci can even be quite reliable. For example, you know, if this was a wave one idea, it's like, get really nice interaction back here before we have this big rejection with the 382. Got a big move down. Sorry for the messy chart. This was the 886, literally to the dollar, which played into that Gartley harmonic idea, like literally to this penny. Basically, we hit the 886, which is a target that I had from here. And so, yeah, I don't just use Fibonacci. I use volume profiles. I use key horizontal levels, and other things, parallel channels. But you just have to have some context for what you're using, when, and why. You know, like for me, like, and again, this is shared in the pinned Twitter video, but I have in the back of my head Elliott wave ideas here that aren't on my chart, but, you know, I've shared them in the past. So, yeah, I just saw JKN Studio. Could this all be a Wyckoff distribution over a higher time frame? I can clearly see it playing out. Certainly. I mean, there's usually, in high time frame support and resistance zones, some kind of distribution schematic playing out. I haven't really looked at a lot of the Wyckoff ideas here because I don't really feel I need that added confluence for this idea of rejection here. We either get one or we don't. If we do, great. You know, I'm gonna find the short. If we don't, I have longs running, so that's fine too. Let's just see. How's the video quality? In the members live stream, people were saying it was limited to 780, but can you do 1080p with this? Hey Mohammed, I'm sure I can look at some of your charts at some point. Best place to post them is in the Discord. So there's an alt TA and a Bitcoin TA channel, and yeah, that's a place for everyone to share their ideas, get feedback, so on. You know, for anybody interested in this move, I mean, you know, that's what this live stream's for. Back test of the 382 here. So yeah, I don't want to give anybody, you know, whatever, but just saying this is a key level, so it's really important to see what happens here. Obviously, a lot of altcoins are going to be rallying with Bitcoin here. But this video, I'm not really going to spend a lot of time, or probably any time, looking at altcoins. I've done a lot of altcoin streams the last couple days. Okay, only 720. Yeah, I don't know why. I even went in and changed the settings, and it says it's 1080. So I'll have to figure that out. But, you know, for any of you who maybe don't use fibs, or you know, if you might have been kind of confused, what are we running up against here? This is a major fib level. And I'm not saying this is what will happen, because I think there's just, you know, my context is there's a lot of liquidity to be generated up here. Like, it doesn't really make sense to reject here. But at the same time, I know that this level should not be ignored. Even if I have a bias that we're going to push up higher, you know, trap people in breakout longs. But even that could happen over the course of the week, or not at all. So, you know, for those who are leaning more bearish on this move, certainly want to take a look at this level. Oh yeah, I probably looked at it in here. Yeah. We sure got to move on film. I analyzed so many coins the other day. I think this was a level I talked about in the live stream, right? Where we take this high into the golden pocket. But yeah, the thing is, like, people obviously want you to take a look at coins that, maybe just broke out 80%, 20, 30, 40%. But typically the opportunities are before the breakout, right? So gonna look for resistance, some take profits if you're in longs already. And, maybe look for shorts at key levels, but well, all I know is I mentioned some resistance in the last video. Probably something like this. And we've broken through it. But, this was the level, right? This isn't the level. Someone asking if there's a reason we're seeing higher volatility on the weekends. I don't know, maybe. I don't really have a meaningful, reason for why that might be. Just speculation. I don't even. I don't even know if it's really worth thinking about. Like, there is a philosophy that you can put in big moves on the weekend, but they're not likely to hold because you can create CME gaps and, the move will reverse over the coming week. I don't know. I've gone back and looked at quite a few weekend moves. Over the course of the last 2 years, we've actually had quite a few big moves start on the weekends. It's not the most probable thing, but it's not like it never happens. If you've followed me for a while on Twitter or on anything else, I've been very bullish on Ethereum. Lay's asking if I can go over the harmonic indicator. It's not an indicator. So if you Google harmonic patterns, just a series of patterns, and they're based on a series of Fibonacci retracements. So there's different types, right? So the one I showed is a Gartley. But you have butterflies and sharks. And a few more. So anyways, like harmonic patterns, first you need to understand Fibonacci really well and how to pull them. And then you need to understand liquidity and price action, like what's a likely harmonic pattern to develop. And then you're essentially looking for these harmonic patterns in the price action. They're subjective. Like somebody might have said, oh, look, we're getting a Gartley, whatever it is. But, so it takes a lot of experience to spot likely harmonic patterns, I guess. Because you could find them on any time frame anywhere. And so, yeah. I'd Google it. It's not an indicator. It's just, it's kind of like an Elliott wave in a sense. If you're familiar with those, it's the same principle. A series of moves in price action. Again, I'm not offering financial advice. This is a very important level of resistance if you have more of a bearish outlook on this move up. We have a couple other important levels not far above this high volume area and the 786. The most important levels to the downside locally are here. You could even pull a fib retracement. Turn off the 886. Coming in around the VWAP, we have a local golden pocket retracement from this impulse. So, if we do reject, we just need to watch how price interplays. Is it claiming this high? Is it rejecting from it? Do we claim this level? And just watch price action level to level. I actually am going to pull open a Luna chart. Just quickly. Shouldn't surprise anyone, but I'm most interested in the coins right now that I have positions in. Just quickly looking through the Discord, getting pinged with some messages. If you're watching and you're private messaging me, I'm getting a lot of private messages. Obviously, it's hard to respond during a live stream. I want to pull this fib time on the hourly. I just want to see how, we have a new weekly candle starting soon, which is always nice to know. I think I'll pull this somewhat accurately. Man, that's beautiful. The 1618 fib time. Very close to aligning with this impulse. So, yeah, I'm just really, again, open-minded, even though I have these higher targets. This level being hit on this fib time is just very nice. So again, I want everyone, if you don't understand a couple things, what fib time is, what a 382 is, what I'm even talking about, well, it doesn't make sense for you to trade anything, right? It makes sense for you to spend time learning. There's going to be opportunities every single day for months and months to come and years to come to get great positions and trade in this market. And if your long-term strategy is just to find people to copy, it's not going to be a winning one. You need to invest time and energy into learning. So All I'll say is we are at the global 382. There's a nice confluence here with fib time. We are seeing some bearish divergences locally here. Lots of volume coming in. The possibility that some big short positions filled. Or the certainty. The way I like to trade is, if I take a position, I like to take profits quickly, so I might close 30% of the position, put my stop loss to break even or entry, and then just let the trade play out. If we get deeper rejection and I get more profits, great. If I get stopped out, I made a little bit of money, and I can always look to re-enter because price is just back at my entry. I guess I will do a members update here. Just post some charts. You know, I can't assume that everybody can get into the live stream. Bear with me. But I want to hear from you guys too. What are your thoughts on this move? Are you guys bullish? Are you expecting a more convincing, move up into the 50K plus region? Are you expecting a rejection? How do you guys see all this? Because like I've said, I don't know what's going to happen. I have my own analysis. I'm sure many of you have yours as well. We're getting some bearish comments. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, how this all plays out. I personally would like to see a push higher, but it might not even happen today if it happens. But because of all this volume coming in, we're primed for some volatility. Let's put it that way. Lots of positions opening. Yeah, so, just saying, we have a lot of longs opening here, and bearish cumulative volume delta divergence is forming. Like, pretty significant ones at a key level. So lots of longs opening at the highs. Bearish divergences showing bigger traders are absorbing them. We're at a key global level, key fib time. We need to watch for certainly volatility, but be open to a rejection here. sometimes I like to just pull local fib levels. Alex saying, considering Australia is going cashless, now I would say very bullish, short and long term. Are they switching to Bitcoin? I find events or ideas like that can be difficult to trade based on. But if you're kind of a holder of Bitcoin with a long-term thesis, there's certainly a lot of, I'd say, bullish ideas. Long term. Lots of macro world event and economic ideas that I think could suggest a bullish outcome for Bitcoin in the medium to high time frame. All right, I'll answer some questions and stuff like that, but give me a couple minutes and I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some coffee and I'll probably just stay live until it's people are kind of getting bored, but I'm going to be watching this move anyway, so I might just stay live and give my thoughts as it develops until there's some sort of more definitive outcome, or maybe we just develop a range and we know what we're looking for. We just wait, but I'll be back shortly. All right, I'm back. little conversation about news, price action, everyone going to crypto. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, on a high time frame, if everybody adopts Bitcoin, well, it's probably going to go up. But the fundamental sort of thesis around Bitcoin hasn't changed in a long time, right? There's institutional adoption. Yes, that's happening. There's an uptake. There's more adoption. But, I guess people who are really believe in Bitcoin, I believed in Bitcoin in 2017, but price still went from 20,000 to 3,000. Um, you know, they they have an idea that like if when price is going up, it's global adoption, it's institutional adoption, it's supply shock. And when it's going down, it's like manipulation and a scam that it's going down. So the truth is, to some degree, the price that Bitcoin is the price that it is, considering all factors in the market. So, whatever. That's why I like pulling little local fibs. It's kind of a nice interaction with the local 618. Yeah, so anyways, my like for me, whatever my fundamental perspective is on Bitcoin, as a trader, you look at price and you say, you have key levels. Well, yeah, there might be some fundamental news, but then why am I seeing signs of the biggest traders in the market filling hundreds of millions of dollars of short positions? Why am I seeing a rejection? Why am I seeing weakness? Why am I seeing longs getting trapped? Those are the things I think about. Because you really want to realize that regardless of the news, there are entities in this market that can push price wherever they want. And that's why you'll have quote unquote bullish, inflation numbers and prices will go down anyways, and you'll have bad news, but then price will go up. It's like, what's happening? Well, a ton of people just shorted bad news into resist support, and then market makers squeezed them out and wrecked them. A ton of people longed quote unquote good news. Let's just go here. Longing good CPI numbers, hundreds of millions of dollars of longs opening right into resistance, and shorts being filled. Boom, they get wrecked. Now, really bad news. The stock market's teetering on a knife's edge. Ukraine and Russia, the conflict's escalating. World War III is about to happen. Everyone's shorting. Boom, they'll get squeezed out by market makers. Why is price going up and down regardless of if the news is good or bad? And sometimes it feels like price is reacting to news. But there's always a news narrative that develops around price, regardless of if it has anything to do with the move. Typically it has more to do with liquidity, and that price action was going to take place regardless of what the news was. I know that could be a hard pill to swallow for people that just think that it's events in the world driving the price action, but it's likely not. But that will be more when there's more adoption of Bitcoin, it becomes a more mature market. There's more counterparties. It won't be bullied around as much by a few market makers. Yeah, you're saying something about FTM and Andre. Well, yeah, I don't know if you're saying that news, was relevant to the decline in price or whatever, but I was just want to point out on FTM, I was posting all the signs of weakness and bearishness in FTM, calling for, these lower targets at least a month before that whole Andre thing. There was a lot of technical signs of weakness there. And, obviously that's derived from bigger players selling. Maybe he knew he was going to be leaving the project. Maybe some others knew. Maybe they were unloading the month before, selling off some coins, anticipating that bad news. So sometimes you actually see the signs of news that's going to be coming out in the market, right? Especially in crypto. It's not as regulated. It's a lot easier for people to get away with what would be considered insider trading. I'm not accusing anyone, by the way. I'm just saying that's could be. Someone's asking if I've taken a short. Well, I have a question for you. Have you taken a short? And if so, why? We are at resistance here. The major fib time. We've obviously had a big impulse up on high volume shorts being squeezed out. Certainly some signs of absorption at the highs here. Some signs that some shorts are being filled. Lots of longs opening. Not on the initial move, but now up here. We're coming into a new weekly candle, which could offer some volatility around that. I'm anticipating a rejection somewhere between here and here, although I'm happy to be wrong because I have longs open as well. But yeah, probably interested in if I see signs of weakness, absorption, start scaling into my shorts in this zone. I always trade with appropriate risk management and position sizing. Yeah, never want to risk. Personally, I don't risk more than 1 to 2% of my account if I get hit with a stop loss. I have a question for you guys. People, like for example, so if I say all these things I just said about we're at resistance, signs of bearish divergences, I'm assuming that some of you have your own plans. Whether or not I've opened a short or not here, is that even relevant? Like, I guess for me, I guess I've told you all of the information that I'm considering. And so to me, I would think, if that information isn't enough for you to either take a short or wait for weakness or wait for a higher level or make a decision one way or the other, then then me just saying whether or not, yes, I took a short or no, I didn't, I don't want people trading that way off anything I'm sharing. Does that make sense? So if I give you all the information I'm considering and still that doesn't really help you make a decision, then I'd say focus on educating yourself about trading, and there's plenty of time. There's nothing wrong. Most people take months and years, unfortunately, to gain the skills necessary to become a consistent and profitable trader. It's one of the hardest professions in the world. And if you don't understand the probability theory and the emotional aspects of trading, and if you don't understand that trading is not about being right or wrong, getting stopped out is a form of being right, and taking profits is a form of being right. I forget who it was, but there's a famous hedge fund manager who was asked what the best trade he ever took was. And he said it was a losing trade, where he stopped out a position, a big one, and then the market collapsed. And he considers that the best trade he ever made, was getting out of that position. Oh, it is all for educational purposes, but uh, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, someone said, just so you're not sued, say it's all for educational purpose. Yeah, and it is. I mean, I can tell you what I'm looking at. In the members group, I typically will update when I take a position. Just, I share my ideas, say what I'm looking for, and I might say, I did take a short or a long here. This is my idea. But it's not financial advice, obviously. Everybody, is welcome to do that. Share their position. I never tell people to take a position. I would never say long here or short here. That's a decision that you need to make. I think there's a nice kind of window of time to be keeping an eye on. And for me, that's the weekly open. It's coming up quite soon. So, I can tell you this though. I have not updated the members that I've taken in position. Still some nice bullish market structure here. Just locally. Now got the higher high, higher lows. Still at key levels. But I would say this, if you have a basic understanding of what any of this it means, I've told you essentially what I'm going to do and what I'm looking for, right? Like, I guess if you've been here since the beginning of the live stream, I've said what I want to see, maybe for a rejection earlier than I think is going to happen, what levels I'm looking at, how I might trade them, and happy to see price action develop. Just looking through chats really quick. just in case people are asking me questions in the Discord. For some reason, sometimes people say they can't type in the live stream. Maybe they don't have a YouTube account. Yeah, so price does start breaking up here to these higher levels. I would expect a lot of longs to start opening. But for example, am I going to short, this Gartley target, which I'd say is a region between here and here? Am I going to short it if price just goes like this? There's maybe there's literally no resistance even. The best outcome for price action at a key level you want to trade is price blows right through it, because then you don't have to trade it. You don't even have to ask yourself if you should take a short there. And so if it's a level you're really interested in shorting, what could save you a little bit of trouble is if price just goes straight through it. And like, okay, well, I'm not shorting that. So that's always my preferred outcome if I'm looking for a long or a short. Whereas if price shows some weakness, doesn't even get to take profit, and then blast through it, then you take a loser, which isn't a big deal, but it's not the preferred outcome. Mula is saying he watched my analysis the other day and played out exactly how you predicted. Awesome. Yeah, I guess I have a little bit of confidence and patience because I have a plan. I'm not scrambling to find an idea to trade here. Well, I think, yeah, to some degree, as we push higher, bears are going to be in disbelief. Even bulls, that expected some kind of pullback. The thing I like about this level around 48K is no one's talking about it. I mean, I'm even seeing bearish accounts saying, if we claim 46K and whatever, close above it, their bearish scenarios are going away. Obviously, all the moon boys talking about breaking 46K. I think a lot of people will be looking at these levels. Certainly possible. But I anticipate there's even a lot of people right now just waiting for a rejection. And if price starts coming up here, people will just FOMO in. And you'll see tons of longs potentially opening here. And then people will not believe, it's a slight pullback. We've claimed 46K. We've pushed up to 48, at least 50K. And then we'll be in disbelief again if we have a massive rejection. But I'm just trading what happens, not what I think is going to happen. So it's just how I could see it playing out, possibly. Kind of want to scroll through Twitter and just see what everyone's saying. It's always fun to do. Just a quick scroll through my feed. We got Mr. Mike Alfred. If Bitcoin just spiked over 46K. I wish I could share my screen, but I'm sure I'll get that set up. Actually, maybe I can. Let me try to set this up. Maybe I can do it live. So maybe we go here and here. We add a source because it'd be probably more entertaining if you could see what I'm talking about. I'm just curious. All right, I don't even know what you guys see right now. I think you can see my Twitter. I don't know. Yeah, you can. I just went to the stream. Maybe. No, you just see... I don't even know. What did I do? Somehow I just made it so it's impossible for me to go back to my... Let's see. Yeah, I made it so it's impossible for me to go back to TradingView. I don't even know how to fix this. Well, I don't know. I think I do this. And maybe this. This was a bad idea. All right, I think I did something right here. Yeah. I don't know. I'll get that figured out for next time. Well, in this software, I should be able to switch between like my Twitter and whatever, but for some reason it just deleted all my other options when I tried to go to Twitter. So that's not ideal. Oh, yeah. Well, just look at the charts. I'll just tell you what I'm looking at on Twitter. Yeah, well, somebody was saying, Bitcoin breaks 46K. This is just the beginning. If you're not long, you're going to regret it. So this is the types of tweets you start seeing, right? Every time Bitcoin breaks up into potential resistance, everybody starts telling you that you better long, and maybe you FOMO into a position. Yeah, so I'm just looking through. I mean, I've been bullish on Bitcoin, but you know, I know there's resistance here. Bullish into this area of the chart. Nothing too crazy. I guess I also don't follow a lot of accounts. So, yeah, we have Barry Silbert, who he bought the top of one of these pumps, that one of those Gartley target waves a month ago. He said, if you don't know why Bitcoin is going up, then you haven't been paying attention. I'm always surprised. This guy is the CEO and founder and parent of Grayscale. Do they not have traders hired? It's going up potentially because it's stopping out a bunch of shorts and grabbing liquidity. But anyways. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm long. I have longs, but I didn't open them here. I'm not going to long this. I'll long support, and I'm looking for shorts at resistance. Anyways, just scroll through Twitter. I mean, it's just the kind of things. The kinds of things that you would expect to see. But here locally, you know, we're potentially claiming the 382, which is always nice. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of really good traders I know on Twitter are saying long. But why? I mean, I don't know if there's. If you're a really good trader, then you're in a long from much, much lower. I mean, literally in anywhere right here. So if you're a really good trader, you're not opening your longs right now. You're in longs, right? Like, I don't know. No. It, the way I look at it, if you're really a really good trader, you've been talking about this move up for a while, as some traders in the room have been, and you've been waiting for this, and you're in longs. But you know, if you're saying long now, you might be a little late to the party. That's just my opinion, of course. You you very well may be a good trader, Mr. Robot. But yeah, this is to me all relatively foreseeable. I mean, yeah, if you watch my members live stream today, I don't even think I shared a downside level. Just upside. Ooh. It's always a good idea, you know, as price action progresses. So some alerts at key levels. in case you fall asleep at your desk. Well, there's also a difference between, someone saying it's disappointing how CT influences newbies into, FOMOing into the top. It's also different if you're just bullish on Bitcoin, you're saying buy Bitcoin, or if you know a lot of your followers are trading with leverage because you're encouraging them to. And opening a leverage position here right now is very dangerous. Someone asking, I'm studying your setup. I can understand your trade preferences are and take profits, but what is your idea of a tight stop loss or loose stop loss? 30%, can it be 10%? Well, yeah, so your stop loss has two components. It's a distance from your entry, but it's also your position size. So first you need to calculate the distance that you think invalidates your idea, right? So I'll just give an example. If this is my, if say this 786 is my short, well, where do I want my stop loss? It could be above this little wick, wherever it is. I'm just gonna give an example. Say this was my short idea, and I want a stop loss here. Maybe that's 1.5% away. Again, this is just an example. Well, if you want to risk 1.5% of your trading account, then you can open that size of position. If your stop loss is higher, like 3% away, and you want to risk 1.5% of your position account, then you can open in a position size that's half the size of your trading account. If you want your stop loss up here, 10% away, then you can open a position that's 1/10 or a little more the size of your trading account if you're using that style of risk management. Someone is asking for an update on SHIB. We'll look at it. I mean, pretty much everything is going to be breaking out. I wouldn't say this resistance is broke. We're actually still rejecting from it. We're at resistance here. We may break it. You want to see a break and a claim of a level. It's always a nice sign. I'm curious how Luna is behaving in the context of this pump. Luna's looked pretty weak on this whole drawdown. Even on this pump, we're getting a pump, but it's still weak relative to a lot of altcoins and Bitcoin. Can you guys let me know when? Oh, I guess I can just check. I just want to know when you're live, if you can rewind it. Oh yeah, you can. So people can go back and watch the beginning of this if they want to, while I'm live. Yeah, you're asking for it to be considered broke if you need to see a break in resistance flip or whatever. Definitely. You don't always get one, but if you want confirmation, here's a good example on Ape, where when we reclaim this range, I won't go into the whole idea here, but we broke up back through the resistance and we back tested it as support. So that's the kind of thing you're looking for when a level is claimed. You don't just want to see a wick through it, right? Because that's more of a rejection. Like I've said, gotta be keeping your eyes open at this level still. There are a decent amount of longs now open. I would say borderline trapping themselves at the highs here. You know, this like this 5 minute candle, nice volume, increase in open interest. So mostly the longs opening. So when you start to see these wicked candles with longs opening at the tops and then rejections, you might be more inclined to be looking for some kind of rejection. You know, so what types of things might you look for? If we do get a rejection, you might look for the retest of like a local retracement. It'd be a little lower than that. You know, so maybe we test this level, and you might, if you're seeing signs of weakness there, you might take even a local short idea as a possibility, something like that. Um, yeah, you're asking, please explain my stop loss strategy, 30% or 10% soft and tight. I actually don't even know what you're referring to in terms of 30% or 10%. Like, I don't know what number, I don't think I've ever referenced a 30% or a 10% stop loss or anything, so I'm not sure. I've made videos on risk management, position sizing, stop losses, and that sort of thing that, if you haven't watched, could be useful. I'm not really sure what you are referring to. Someone's asking for me to do a quick check of other tokens. I've done quite a bit of analysis, so I think that's all still pretty much relevant. You know, yeah, ultimately, you kind of have a general idea of what to look for here. We're at a key level. So do we claim it? We have this level around 47.3. My biggest level of interest around 48. And we can look for this as support at the bottom. We're coming into the weekly open. I'm kind of more interested in waiting to see what happens into the weekly open. So, yeah. I might wrap things up here for now, because I think this is pretty straightforward. Yes, it's a big move, but the levels are pretty clear to see. We can see what happens. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate your time and hope you enjoyed the content. Share your ideas in the